Welcome to Alternative Appetites, the show where I get to cook with today's leaders in the gluten-free industry. Today, I am lucky enough to have Dr. Lucy Gibney of Dr. Lucy's Cookies in the Kitchen. Doc, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Dan. I'm glad to be here.
We are going to make the Doc's extra special chocolate cake. Then you're going to show us how to make a quick pan-fried chicken dinner.
Yes.
And after that, because we all need some more veggies, right, Doctor?
Yes, vitamins and minerals.
I'll show you how to make a quick and easy salad dressing, something that'll save you money at the store so you don't have to buy bottles all the time. But first, if you're not familiar with the woman of the hour, Dr. Lucy, these are the goods. She's making allergen-free cookies, and they are distributed nationwide, and they're delicious. Doc, why would you get into allergen-free baking as opposed to flour and butter and all the regular ingredients?
My son, who's now 6, was diagnosed at the age of 4 months with several severe food allergies. And like any mom, I wanted him to have great things to eat, so I got busy in the kitchen.
And speaking of those great things to eat, the cookies are on the shelves, but the cake is in the kitchen. Today we are making this amazing chocolate cake. Let's get started. Okay. We're working with an egg substitute because this is completely allergen-free. I have 3 tablespoons of an egg replacer right here, and I've got half a cup of cocoa. To that, I'm going to add 2/3 cup of soy milk. You can use whatever alternative milk you want. And 2/3 cup of hot water. Doc, can you give that a whisk together for me? Now, why is it important when we're working with an egg substitute to sort of do it first?
Well, working with egg substitutes requires, first of all, following directions, and usually they'll let you know that you want to use a warm liquid to help start a process that takes some time. So you want to get it ready first and then allow it to bloom. This turns a liquid into sort of a frothy, sticky substance so it performs like an egg.
It'll give your cake that structure that you're missing. Now we're going to go into the dry ingredients. I have 2 cups of the Doctor's special gluten-free flour blend. Doc, if they don't have your flour blend at home, can they use another blend?
The key word there is blend. When we're baking gluten-free, we're doing without wheat flour, which does great things in terms of its starch, fat, and protein performance. So we use several flours in combination to substitute for those.
And speaking of blend, to the 2 cups of flour, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, a ½ teaspoon of salt, and a ½ teaspoon of xanthan gum. Doc, what is xanthan gum and what does it do?
Xanthan gum adds a stickiness. Again, that's found naturally in a wheat flour, but we sort of add it as a trick when we're baking gluten-free.
There we go. I'm just giving the dry ingredients a quick whisk. We want to make sure everything is completely incorporated, but let's move on to the wet ingredients because these are the real rock stars. Doc, what do you have over here?
The surprise ingredient is carrots. My first success baking gluten-free cakes was with carrot cake. And when I moved on to chocolate cake, I realized the cake just wasn't turning out as well. So I thought about the problem, and it seemed that there was a lack of structure in the cake, and I decided, well, I'm going to sneak the carrots in and see what happens, and it worked. I brought along the marmalade, which was also part of my carrot cake recipe, and I think together they're not noticeable, but they really do a great job.
Problem solving in the kitchen. Carrots are a great trick to have on hand because sometimes when you're doing some gluten-free baking at home, a problem you might run into is dry, crumbly, sort of sandy cakes. But if you throw in some carrots or some shredded zucchini, you're going to really bring some moisture to the cake. Now in here I have 3/4 cup of vegetable oil, 1.5 cups of sugar, 1/4 cup of orange juice, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm going to whisk in that egg and chocolate mixture that's been sitting now. It is just perfect and ready to go. Remember, you do want to let this sit for a while and bloom. Whisk that together. Then, it's time for the dry ingredients. Let's just give those a quick stir. Doc, how's the orange and carrots looking?
We're ready.
We're ready to go. Once you give these a quick stir, it's time to fold in the carrots. You want to do those last, and you can do this whole cake with an electric mixer. You don't have to do it by hand. Whatever's easiest for you. I do hope you've seen how easy the cake is, though. We put it together in 5 minutes. May I have the carrots, please?
Please. You can go to the carrots.
Perfect. Doc, behind you there are a couple of 8-inch cake pans. We've got 2 prepared cake pans. They are greased and floured and ready to go. I'm going to divide the batter evenly between the 2. I've got my oven at 350 degrees, and this cake is going to cook for 35 to 40 minutes. You'll know it's done when you stick a knife or a toothpick right in the center and it comes out clean. After it comes out, you want to let the cake cool for about 10 minutes before you try and take them out of the pans. When we come back, you're going to find out more about this amazing woman and more about the cookies. Stay tuned. You are watching Alternative Appetites.